Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Heard after a shooting at a shopping center right off of New Hope Church Road. Coming up, I'll tell you what we learned from the crime scene.
And our heat index high again today. It'll feel like nearly 100 this afternoon. I'll show you how many more days it'll feel that hot or hotter.
And we're expecting to hear a major announcement from Novo Nordisk. What we're learning about the company's plans for expansion in Johnston County. Oh, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here. Starting off your Monday, hot, humid, and it is summertime for sure. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner joining us for the forecast. Elizabeth?
That heat wave really kicked off over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and it stretches, all the way into potentially this coming weekend. We take a look at North Hills, and there's some cloud cover out there. Those clouds, tend to help us keep the temperatures from warming up as quickly. But problem is, at 4 a.m., it was already 81 degrees, so it's not like we cooled off last night. 83 right now, with a dew point at 75. Sometimes the dew point will climb to 76 or 77, but 75 is really, sometimes really some of the upper limit that we see. So very hot, very humid for us today. This is a look at our heat index. We're going to feel like upper 90s to around 100 this afternoon. We do have a chance of a few isolated storms. We're going to see a cold front that comes through. You can see these isolated showers and storms in our southeastern counties starting right around or just after lunchtime up until around the evening commute. Notice that the wind starts to come out of the northwest, and sometimes that cools us off. But remember, it's hot everywhere, so we'll see a 5-degree drop in our temperature. We hit 100 yesterday. We'll see a high of 95 for today. We have a severe threat for us in our southeastern counties, parts of Wayne, Sampson, and Cumberland counties in that level 1 risk for severe storms with a small chance for wind damage. That high temperature, 95 for this afternoon, and we do have some even hotter temperatures in the forecast later in the week. Ken?
At 8:02, Elizabeth, happening right now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We just got reports of Raleigh police working this crash on Gorman Street in the northbound lane near I-40. Right now, we're not seeing any congestion building in that area. So just keep in mind, you'll see some police activity there if you have to navigate Gorman Street this morning. Elsewhere around the triangle, here's what we're seeing. Major congestion on the north side of the Beltline as well as the south side of the Beltline as well. Even the alternate route at I-540, they're seeing some congestion this morning. So let's take you outside and show exactly what we're talking about here. This is I-440 and Lake Boone Trail. The inner lanes, those folks are staying on the Beltline, getting to US 1 and all points west. The folks on the outer lane, those folks are trying to get onto I-40 westbound, so you see a bit of a slowdown there. This is the south side of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lanes are moving away from us. We're not seeing that crash in those eastbound lanes near Gorman Street on this camera, but just keep this in mind. You're about to head out. Give yourself some extra time.
Some extra time, and it's definitely a windows up and air conditioning on kind of day. Ken, thank you. We'll, of course, all be feeling the effects of that dangerous heat here today. If you do need to go outside, it's important to take all the necessary precautions. WRAL's Laura Levine is at Knightdale Station Park this morning for us. Laura, doctors say people are in danger of heat-related illnesses if they aren't prepared.
Yeah, Eric, doctors say excessive heat could really take a toll on your body pretty quickly if you are not prepared. Here we are at Knightdale Station Park, where you can see we have some families already gathering here near the splash pad. It's going to be a very popular day, I'm sure, here at the park. But this heat wave will have temperatures feeling like triple digits, as we just heard from Elizabeth, at 100 degrees today. So first responders and hospitals have already seen an influx of patients for this month, anticipating to see more in the coming days. Wake County EMS says they received 8 heat-related calls on Saturday, and they've treated more than 20 patients because of this since the start of June. Dr. J.J. Hoff with Duke University Hospital says knowing the symptoms and prehydrating is key.
One of the ways that our body reacts to extreme heat like this is you get a lot of inflammation, which can lead to you getting dehydrated pretty quickly compared to normally. So you need to prehydrate so that all of your vital organs that are not used to being exposed to this kind of heat can do their normal job.
And he says if you or someone you know begins to feel their body overheating, it's important to take immediate action by trying to cool off, maybe with a nice damp towel or just a fan with a mister. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Knightdale.
2 people are hurt after a shooting this morning near New Hope Church Road and Atlantic Avenue in Raleigh. Nick Perlin was in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker as police investigated overnight.
Raleigh police were busy early this morning investigating a very large crime scene at a shopping center right off of New Hope Church Road. I'm going to show you this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker just so you can see for yourself just how large this crime scene was as Raleigh police tried to piece together what exactly happened early this morning. We do know 2 people were shot. They are expected to recover. Now, I do also want to show you this video as well. This is a car crash that happened right off of New Hope Church Road, right next to that shopping center where that shooting happened. And the reason why this is important is because you can see Raleigh police here searching through this white car and taking pictures of it. Now, we're still trying to learn from Raleigh police if they know if this crash had anything to do with that shooting that left 2 people hurt. We're going to keep asking for more information this morning. In Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
We're following breaking news this morning. 3 people are in the hospital after a shooting near a restaurant in Raleigh. It happened around 11 p.m. outside of La Buena Vida on Falls of Neuse Road. Police say a man and woman have minor injuries. Another man has serious injuries. They're working to determine what led up to the shooting, and so far, the shooter is not in custody. Today, we expect an announcement from Novo Nordisk on a major expansion. At a news conference this afternoon planned for 2 o'clock, the drug manufacturer will unveil plans for what it describes as a significant development. People familiar with Novo Nordisk's plans tell WRAL's NC Capital team the company is investing more than $1 billion in Johnston County. The expansion is expected to create about 1,000 jobs there. The Johnston County Board of Commissioners are holding a special meeting this morning to talk about economic incentives for development. Sources tell WRAL that meeting is about Novo Nordisk. Raleigh police are working to learn what led to a shooting that sent a man to the hospital. They say a person was shot at an apartment complex Sunday afternoon. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker here shows police cars blocking off Crockett Court. Witnesses say they heard 2 men arguing before this shooting happened. No charges have been filed yet. Several people are in police custody after 2 separate high-speed chases over the weekend. According to WRAL data trackers, this makes at least 44 chases involving law enforcement in our area already this year. Police say the latest chase started Sunday afternoon after 2 people tried to steal from a Walmart. Officers tried to stop their car, but the driver sped away. That chase ended with a crash on NC 98 near Camp Kanata Road. Both people in the car were hurt, but are expected to be okay. And a Rayford man is facing serious charges after leading a trooper on a high-speed chase. That chase started on I-40 East just before midnight Saturday night. The driver crashed when trying to exit onto I-95 South near Benson. Troopers say he went off the road while trying to take the exit at nearly 100 miles an hour. Troopers say that driver, 26-year-old Lamine Lowe, was in a stolen car. Happening today, a funeral for a former Raleigh City Councilman, Eugene Weeks. It's happening at noon at Watts Chapel Baptist Church in Raleigh. A visitation will begin at 11 a.m. Weeks passed away on June 14th. He was appointed as a councilman in 2010, and Weeks was 83 years old. The state Senate is expected to vote today on how the state should spend a $1 billion surplus. The vote is another step in a standoff with the state House over how the money should be spent. The chambers need to agree on a proposal for any of it to be spent, but lawmakers are still at odds over things such as extra raises for state workers. The new fiscal year begins in a week, but legislative leaders indicate that it could be months before a new budget is approved, if one gets approved at all. For full coverage of state budget negotiations, you can go to the NC Capital section of WRAL.com. Starting today, you may notice more law enforcement along the highway. It's the first day of Operation Firecracker, Booze It and Lose It. Dozens of law enforcement agencies will be increasing their patrols and be on the lookout for drunk drivers. It's an annual effort focused on the 4th of July travel period. Duke University leaders will mark the beginning of the campaign at the Karsh Alumni Center this morning. Operation Firecracker runs through July 7th. Surgeries with less than ideal outcomes.
And if I could have told the whole story, I think that they would probably not want this physician that operated on me doing any more surgery in North Carolina.
Tonight, WRAL investigates actions taken against doctors in North Carolina and why some patients say operating room errors deserve more than what they feel is a slap on the wrist. WRAL investigates tonight at 6. And a 3-hour hike turned into days for one California man. How he survived wandering the wilderness before he was finally located. Plus, it's no secret that coffee may be America's favorite drink, and now there's new research dedicated to it. Just ahead, a look at the new research facility aiming to improve the future of the coffee industry.
And the heat that started building over the weekend continues this week. We have the potential for a heat index up around 100 and a chance of some storms. We may see that chance go up a little later in the week. We need the rain. I'll show you when you should expect it coming up.
Welcome back. Taking a live look over North Hills this morning where you can see some blue skies and, oh man, you just know it is a hot one out there. Of course, a lot of hot days for us, but there is a little bit of relief maybe down Elizabeth. I'm looking behind you in the Sand Hills. We're talking about maybe some sprinkles.
So there's a cold front that's going to come swinging through, and out ahead of that front, we all of a sudden have these little tiny sprinkles. I will zoom in on this, and you can see around Southern Pines, just a sprinkle. I mean, it's a tiny little shower here and there, and that may be about all we can squeak out today, but it's better than nothing. One thing that sometimes happens, though, when you have just a little bit of rain, sometimes it just makes it feel even more humid. So I'm hoping that there's some help will happen from all of this. We'll widen out the view, and you can see that front kind of moving right through that spot. We'll watch along that front for a few sprinkles, and then later this afternoon, right around or just after lunchtime, there could be some thunderstorms. We do have a line of thunderstorms down here across the deep south, Georgia, down into Alabama, Mississippi. So we may have that as well. You can see Futurecast shows that front moving through, and then a few isolated showers at lunchtime, maybe a thunderstorm or two, especially along and east of I-95, middle of the afternoon. Also notice the clouds are now coming out of the north. Now, some parts of the air, that really helps to make things more refreshing, but it's been so hot and humid to our north that that's really not ushering in anything cooler. So we hit 100 yesterday. We'll see around 95 today, so it doesn't cool us off much. It's not going to drop our humidity very much, a little bit. We may see the dew points drop down into the upper 60s. For Thursday, we also have another chance of some showers and thunderstorms, maybe a little more widespread than what we see today, and that'll be good news. We definitely need some rain. We also today have a risk for severe storms just in a small part of the viewing area, a southeastern corner of Wayne County, most of Sampson County, and just a teeny piece of Cumberland County. So it's a 40% chance today, then a 60% chance on Thursday, 20 to 30 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's a really small chance in this sort of a pattern. Take a look at how much rain we might end up seeing from the triangle northward and westward. I mean, barely measurable, but around a half an inch from Southern Pines to Fayetteville to Clinton to Goldsboro, half to 3/4 of an inch. So there may be parts of the viewing area that see a little bit of rain. Everybody needs it. We've seen anywhere from 0 to around 20% of our normal rainfall in the last 30 days. So we are desperately in need of some rain. Our heat index for today and tomorrow will be upper 90s to right around 100. That does not qualify for a heat index. Heat index is going to be 104 or hotter. So Wednesday and Thursday, we may go back under a heat advisory. We'll be watching for that closely. Wednesday, an isolated storm, better chance for storms there on Thursday. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about the heat index as we go through the rest of the week. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, at 8:16, all new into the WRAL Traffic Center. Just a handful of crashes to tell you about this morning. And this crash is in North Raleigh. It's on Glen Eden Drive in the eastbound lane near Essex Garden Lane. It's in the neighborhood area, not really causing any problems for your morning commute, but you live in that area. I wanted you to know there's some police activity you're going to run into if you're navigating Glen Eden this morning. This crash also just happened on I-40 in the westbound lanes near State Highway 55. As you can see, we're not seeing any delays in that immediate area, but just watch for some police activity. And if you can, move over one lane. That's the law, to give law enforcement officers an opportunity to work that crash scene rather safely. This crash we've been monitoring for the last 45 minutes or so. It's on Gorman Street proper in the northbound lane, just not far from I-40 in the eastbound lanes. Not causing any problems on the Gorman Street area, but you can see the slowdown that's right there on the belt line. So keep that in mind if you're about to head out. Give yourself some extra time, why don't you?
Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. We have some updates on the royal family happening right now. Princess Anne, 73-year-old sister to King Charles, is in a hospital. She was taken to the hospital after some sort of incident on her estate. Now, Buckingham Palace is confirming some of the details here. Not a lot. Minor injuries, including a concussion. It happened at her estate. She is expected to make a full and swift recovery. That's what Buckingham Palace is saying. She was taken there for a precautionary measure for observation. King Charles has been kept closely informed about his sister's health, but few details beyond that. There are some published broadcast and other reports out there saying there may have been a horse involved on her estate. We'll wait to get confirmation from that from Buckingham Palace and bring it on to you in the Live Center.
Be looking out for that. Thanks, Jeff. A lifeguard is dead after an apparent shark attack off the Hawaiian island of Oahu. Local officials say the body of 49-year-old Tamayo Perry was found on a beach Sunday afternoon. The 911 caller said his body had signs of more than one shark bite. Perry was a well-known surfer and actor who appeared in the movie Blue Crush and episodes of Hawaii Five-0. Officials say Perry was a highly skilled waterman and was loved by all.
Miles' personality was infectious, and as much as people loved him, he loved everyone else more.
Perry's official cause of death has not been released. A 3-hour hike turned into a 10-day ordeal when a man disappeared in California. Lucas McClish was lost in the Santa Cruz Mountains for 9 nights and 10 days, shirtless, with only a flashlight and folding scissors. He didn't tell anyone where he was going, so his family filed a missing persons report. McClish drank water from creeks, ate wild berries, slept on wet beds of leaves while yelling for help or thinking of his next meal.
I felt comfortable the whole time I was out there. I wasn't worried about. I had a mountain lion that was following me, but it was cool. He kept his distance. I think it was just somebody watching over me.
An unbelievable story there. A local fire agency deployed a drone and spotted his location. A canine tracked him down, and McClish was escorted out of the remote canyon and reunited with his family. He has no major injuries. Chaos during the final round of the PGA tournament in Connecticut. Just check this out right here. 6 climate activists ran onto the course and let out some kind of powder or paint on the 18th green. It happened as tournament leaders Scotty Scheffler and Tom Kim were finishing their round. Police quickly moved in and stopped the protest. A group called Extinction Rebellion claimed responsibility. They say they want to bring action to the worldwide danger of climate change. Well, coffee drinkers, this one is for you. A new first-of-its-kind facility is working to improve research around America's favorite drink. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look.
Hot or iced, sweetened or black. No matter how Americans take their favorite cup of joe, data from the National Coffee Association reveals U.S. adults consume more Java each day than any other type of drink.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But researchers at the University of California, Davis say scientific studies centered around coffee are lacking compared to alcoholic beverages like wine.
What I'd like to convey is it's actually more difficult to make a good cup of coffee than it is to make a good bottle of wine. And when I say that to my wine colleagues, they get all riled up because they know how difficult it is to make wine. It turns out coffee is even more complicated.
To perk up the buzz, the school recently opened its new coffee center.
The nation's first academic facility dedicated to the science and art of coffee.
The sprawling facility features various labs and roasting rooms where students can conduct chemical engineering and other research.
We could control things like its acidity level. By doing research and looking at how these parameters change as you roast, we'll be able to predict what's going to happen if you roast a certain way.
All with the goal of helping advance the future of the coffee industry.
We're trying to elevate coffee and make it a topic of academic research and an academic talent pipeline to help support the industry and help support what's arguably the world's most important beverage.
Going forward, the UC Davis Coffee Center aims to add a greenhouse so they can grow beans on campus. Faculty there also hopes the university will offer a degree in coffee science in the future.
I'm guessing the faculty also hoping they'll offer a couple of cups of coffee as well. That was Ted Linder reporting there. A local group of talented athletes will represent North Carolina on the national stage this summer. The Wake Tornadoes softball team will compete in the Special Olympics North American Games in Pittsburgh. One of the players is Zoe Betts. Her mother says doctors told her when Zoe was a baby that she would not be able to walk or talk, but she's always been determined, including the day she tried out for the team.
She has some vision issues. She got smacked in the face with a softball, broke her nose in 2 places, and insisted with blood on her everywhere she was going to try out.
It's just great just getting out there, just seeing everyone play their best, just learning about how they got there, what everyone's story is, and just seeing how everyone has dedication for Special Olympics and, of course, just trying to win the gold.
The Wake Tornadoes will begin training for the games next month. More athletes from the Triangle are headed to the Olympics. Which track and field athletes have punched their ticket to Paris, and which ones will be racing towards their spot later today? All that coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It's 8:26 a.m. I'm Eric Miller. Here's meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look at our forecast, including some showers out there.
Boy, we need some rain, but this is teeny tiny, just a little bit of isolated, really a sprinkle more than anything. The southern part of Moore County, a little bit of Hoke County into Cumberland County. We are likely to see at least a few isolated showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon. We have a cold front coming through, plenty of rain and storms on the southern end of this front, but we'll have our chance as well, mainly in our southeastern counties. We do have a few counties that are in that level 1 risk. We're looking at Wayne County, Cumberland County, Sampson County in that level 1 risk for today for the potential for damaging winds. Our rain chances by lunchtime to 1 o'clock around 30%. We bump it to around 40% late afternoon, and then that potential really starts to go down. Checking Goldsboro this morning, we're looking at a little bit of cloud cover. It's going to be a hot one, 95, feeling like 100. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, quick check of the major roadways in Wake County this morning. You can see a couple of crashes on local roads, not really affecting your morning commute. Even this one on Highway 55 near I-40 westbound, not affecting your major routes this morning. You can see some congestion building on both sides of the Beltline this morning, the north side of the Beltline and the south side of the Beltline. Believe it or not, traffic is actually thinning out a bit. It used to be a whole lot more red showing up on the map, but that's good news if you're getting ready to head out.
2 people were hurt in a shooting near New Hope Church Road. Video shows officers investigating the 2 cars in the parking lot near the Walmart there. It's not clear if those cars that crashed are related to the shooting. The victims are expected to be okay. So far, a shooter is not in custody. Next on Fox 50, which track and field athletes from the Triangle are headed to the Summer Olympics? And up next on Today, Andy Cohen is in Studio 1A to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Watch What Happens Live.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number 1 source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
This morning, 2 people are in the hospital after a shooting in Raleigh. What we know about the investigation that closed off a Walmart parking lot for hours.
Excessively hot again today. The heat index climbs up to almost 100 by lunchtime. We'll look at triple digits by around 4 o'clock. I'll show you when we'll have some potential rain to potentially cool us off.
Spending time outdoors during excessive heat could be dangerous, doctors say, if you don't take the proper precautions. Just ahead, what experts are saying the symptoms you should be looking out for when outdoors.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm Eric Miller. Well, yet again, it is a day to grab that water bottle and maybe hug the air conditioner. That's how hot it is outside. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner joining us with our forecast now. Elizabeth.
Even a cold front is not going to save us. We have a cold front that's going to swing through for today, but it's not going to change our situation very much. We do have a few sprinkles that are showing up down here in the Sandhills, a little bit of Hoke County, southern Moore County, getting ready to move on up into parts of Harnett County and Cumberland County. But this is just a sprinkle at best. Probably what this will do for you is just make it feel even stickier. I pulled up Pinehurst so we could see a sprinkle or two. Nothing really showing up just yet, but there's not a whole lot out there. A few people out there braving all of this heat and humidity. You can see the flag there at the golf course there at Pinehurst Golf and Country Club. Resort and Country Club. So there's at least a little bit of breeze there. 83 in the Triangle with a dew point of 75. So it already feels just oppressively hot for us. We'll hit around 100 this afternoon for the heat index. Yesterday we were 100 for the high temperature with the heat index above that. So we brought it back down under heat advisory criteria, but still going to be very hot for us. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms developing mostly along and east of I-95 for today. And hopefully that will maybe help to cool things off slightly. But some of these storms could produce some strong winds, parts of Wayne County, Sampson County, and Cumberland County are in a level 1 risk for severe storms. And it will be hot. High temperatures will be in the mid-90s. I'll show you how many more days we have with excessive heat coming up. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, at 8:32 happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're following a few crashes that we want to tell you about. This one in the westbound lanes of I-40 near Highway 55. You can see right now we're not seeing any congestion in that immediate area. Just watch for some police activity, and if you can, move over one lane to give law enforcement officers an opportunity to work that crash scene safely. We're also monitoring this crash on Gorman Street proper. It's near I-40 there in West Raleigh, not causing any major problems there on Gorman Street, and you can see things are thinning out a bit there on the belt line as well. This crash is in North Raleigh. It's really in a neighborhood area, Glen Eden Drive and eastbound lane near Essex Garden Lane. If you live in that neighborhood, you see some police activity. That's what's going on right now. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, this is what we're talking about this morning. We can see just a usual congestion building on 540 this morning. And over in Durham, I-885 in both directions, we're seeing a bit of a slowdown this morning.
It's already very warm as you head outside this morning, and it's going to get dangerously hot again later today. So when you head out, be sure to grab that water bottle and take all the necessary precautions. As WRAL's Laura Levine explains, people are at risk for heat-related illnesses if they don't take this seriously.
Excessive heat can really take a toll on your body if you're not careful. That's what doctors are saying as we're here at Nightdale Station Park. Behind me, you can see the playground and the splash pad. This is going to be a very popular area throughout the day as many people try to beat the heat. But this heat wave will have temperatures feeling like the triple digits. We're talking about 100 degrees today. So earlier today, we saw people coming out even before the sun came to get that workout in and exercise. First responders and hospitals have already seen an influx of patients for this month, anticipating to see more in the coming days. Wake County EMS told WRAL News they received 8 heat-related calls on Saturday, and they've treated more than 20 patients because of this since the start of June. Dr. J.J. Hoff with Duke University Hospital says knowing the symptoms and pre-hydrating is key.
Very often in the early stages of heat waves like this, you don't really see people come in saying that they're here because they're hot, but what you do see is a little more people here for things like lightheadedness and dehydration and things of that nature where they're starting to feel the effects.
And he says if you or someone you know begins to feel overheated, it's important to take immediate action by what they call evaporative cooling, by throwing some cold water on someone, taking a nice damp towel and placing it on their body, or just having a nice fan to cool off. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Nightdale.
2 people are hurt after a shooting this morning near New Hope Church Road and Atlantic Avenue in Raleigh. Nick Perlin was in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker as police investigated.
Raleigh police were busy early this morning investigating a very large crime scene at a shopping center right off of New Hope Church Road. I'm going to show you this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker just so you can see for yourself just how large this crime scene was as Raleigh police tried to piece together what exactly happened early this morning. We do know 2 people were shot. They are expected to recover. Now, I do also want to show you this video as well. This is a car crash that happened right off of New Hope Church Road, right next to that shopping center where that shooting happened. And the reason why this is important is because you can see Raleigh police here searching through this white car and taking pictures of it. Now, we're still trying to learn from Raleigh police if they know if this crash had anything to do with that shooting that left 2 people hurt. We're going to keep asking for more information this morning. In Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
We're following more breaking news this morning now. 3 people are in the hospital after a shooting near a restaurant in Raleigh. This happened around 11 p.m. outside of La Buena Vida on Falls of Neuse Road. Police say a man and a woman have minor injuries. Another man has serious injuries. We're working to determine what exactly led up to that shooting. To more breaking news now. Crews responded to a fire at a home on Crosslink Road in Raleigh. This is video right here from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. We're working to learn more about the cause of this fire and exactly how badly that home was damaged. The state Senate is expected to vote today on how the state should spend $1 billion surplus. The vote is another step in a standoff with the state House over how exactly to spend all this money. The chambers need to agree on a proposal for any of it to be spent, but lawmakers are still at odds over extra things, including extra raises for state workers. The new fiscal year begins in just a week, but legislative leaders indicate that it could be months before a new budget is approved, if one gets approved at all. For full coverage of the state budget negotiations, go to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. Today marks 2 years since the Supreme Court decision that overturned Roe v. Wade. That anniversary comes as the High Court considers another potentially monumental abortion case. It could rule any day now on whether a federal law mandating emergency care can override a state ban on the procedure. The Biden campaign says it's holding more than 50 events to rally supporters around the anniversary. A pro-life event is happening today in Raleigh to talk about what's changed since then. The NC Values Coalition will hold a news conference at 10 this morning on Halifax Mall. The group says women from across the state will talk about the ongoing effect of the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe on state law. Right now, abortion is banned in North Carolina after 12 weeks. The state branch of the National Organization for Women is leading a reproductive rights rally and march today. It starts at 3 this afternoon outside of the state legislative building. The North Carolina Alliance of the Equal Rights Amendment is also participating in the event. Investigators are looking into how this fire right here got started. Firefighters were sent to an apartment complex fire in Fayetteville early Sunday morning. The Fayetteville Fire Department says this happened at Westlake at Morganton apartment homes. That's on Woodhill Drive. These pictures right here are from the fire department. You can see significant damage to a unit there on the 3rd floor. Well, today you can weigh in on how Durham County could use millions of dollars from a national opioid settlement. A community meeting is happening today at 5 p.m. at the Durham Board of Commissioners chambers. Attendees will help identify gaps and potential funding priorities for the future. There will also be an update on what Durham County has done since its first input session.
Jeff Hogan, the WRAL Live Center. I want to take you this video just into the WRAL newsroom. Look in the distance, this traffic camera video. This is just south of Seoul, South Korea. There was a battery factory there where there was a terrible fire. 22 people were killed there today when that fire broke out inside the battery plant. It began with a series of battery cells that exploded inside the warehouse there. This is all according to fire officials there. What sparked the explosion has not been determined. The investigation still is going on, but lots of folks suffered some injuries out of this. Dozens more workers are still missing inside. So this is something that is continuing to be investigated until they find all those people.
Yeah, Jeff, a lot to keep our eyes on there. The Team USA track and field trials are now in full swing in Oregon. UNC's Ethan Strand will be racing for a spot on the Olympic team tonight. He qualified for the men's 1,500-meter final with his performance at the trials on Saturday. Raleigh native and Campbell University student Dominique Alexander competed in the men's 100-meter semifinal last night. Unfortunately, he did not qualify for the final. And 2 local women raced in the 400-meter final. Jamisha Ford went to Jack Britt High School in Fayetteville, and Quanira Hayes is from Hope Mills. Unfortunately, neither were able to secure a spot there on the Olympic team. You can watch all of the events from the trials right here on WRAL. The track and field Olympic trials are on air starting tonight at 8. And coming up in less than 10 minutes, a look at the local competitors going to the Olympics in the pool as the Team USA swimming trials wrap up. Imagine purchasing a home for a fraction of its worth, but you've got to wait years before moving in. Or the homeowner of this San Francisco home won't be able to live there for 30 years. And wild thing, that might make your heart sing. Coming up, meet the dog enjoying his new celebrity status for having a face that only a mother could love. Welcome back. Taking a live look over White Lake there this morning, where I guarantee you it is sizzling outside, and it would feel pretty darn good to take a dive into that water here today. That's going to be the story across our entire region. Once again, very hot, very humid. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking that for us, and some showers that have popped up.
You know, sometimes a cold front will help us out. This one isn't really going to help us much, but it is going to bring us a few scattered showers. You have a little bit of light rain down here in the Sandhills. That's where the showers are right now. So we'll zoom in, and you can see a little rain moving across Rayford right now, a little bit of that into the northern part of Cumberland County, southwestern Harnett County, and kind of cruised right through Southern Pines. I pulled up that Southern Pines camera a couple of minutes ago. You can't tell that it's raining. These are tiny little showers. The rain's north of Fayetteville right now, but you can see the cloud cover here in Fayetteville. It's 83 degrees right now in the Triangle. We have a southwest wind at 10, so it's a little breezy with that southwest wind, but a southwest wind also doesn't help us out. That's going to be where all the heat and humidity is coming from, so that's just going to keep us hot today. We'll climb to 95 with an increasing chance of showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon. Thanks to our weather watcher, John Hipskind from Durham, who sent out this beautiful swallowtail. Looks like that was a very sunny day there. We would love to see your photos. Send us those. Go to WRAL.com, search weather watchers, and upload a few photos. We'll try to get them on TV. 95 today in Raleigh and Durham, and 97 in Fayetteville. Here's a look at our cold front that is bringing us a few isolated showers to the Sandhills right now. That will slide eastward, but continue to help bring us a chance of some showers and thunderstorms, especially closer to lunchtime. There's 11:30, and we'll pause it again there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Isolated showers, thunderstorms, especially along and east of I-95. Now, behind the front, notice where the clouds are coming from. They're coming out of the north-northwest. That's what we want to see. But the temperatures to our north are still really hot, and it's pretty humid up there, too. So we're not going to be able to have a cooler, drier air mass really come in. There's just not much of that to be found anywhere. We do have a level 1 risk for severe storms in that southeast corner of Wayne County, most of Sampson County, and a little sliver of southeastern Cumberland County. Damaging winds would be our biggest threat. We are sitting way up at tropical right now. 75 is our dew point compared to last week where we were, low to mid 60s. That's a huge, huge jump. This front may help to drop our humidity slightly, but by Wednesday and Thursday, we're creeping back up to tropical again, and that will bring us an increased chance for a heat advisory. No heat advisory for most of the East Coast right now, but again, that could change in the next few days. 89 is our normal high. We'll climb to 99 on Wednesday. We hit 100 yesterday. It'll feel like close to 100 today and tomorrow, and then 105 potentially Wednesday, 106 on Thursday, and that would potentially bring us a heat advisory. 104, 105 is the criteria for a heat advisory. With some showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, the temperature may fall a bit down to 93, but it'll still be quite humid. Thursday will bring us our best chance of rain in the next 7 days.
Elizabeth, thank you very much. Police in Arkansas are giving more details about a mass shooting that killed 4 people at a supermarket. State police say the suspected shooter started shooting as soon as he got out of his truck in the parking lot on Friday. They say he then went into the store, firing at both customers and employees. State police say they were on the scene in just 3 minutes after the first call. In total, 13 people were shot, including 2 officers. The suspected shooter, Travis Posey, faces 4 counts of capital murder. He's due in court today. Authorities say they don't know why he started shooting. A monsoon storm in Arizona is responsible for the death of 1 woman in Tucson. That's according to the Tucson Fire Department. They say the woman was found in a river. First responders pulled her from that river Saturday afternoon and tried to resuscitate her. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The fire department says they responded to over 25 storm-related calls in just 90 minutes. Well, it was a scary situation on Harris Lake for 3 people who had to be rescued from a sinking boat. The Wake County Sheriff's Office says that boat was reported just before noon on Sunday. A team with the Sheriff's Office found the boat and was able to rescue one of the passengers. A nearby boater rescued the 2 other passengers. The Sheriff's Office said the boat sank because of a mechanical issue. 2 people were hurt after a boat ran ashore in Atlantic Beach out on the coast. See here where that boat is stuck there on the sand. This happened Saturday night around 6. Investigators say the boat was traveling fast when it ran into the shore there. The two people were on the boat when this happened. Both were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. It's been 6 years since Rocky Mount police officer Christopher Driver died on the job. Officer Driver got into a crash in his patrol car while responding to a call in 2018. The police department said on Facebook that Officer Driver was a true hero who embodied the finest qualities of the law enforcement officer. Andrew Capobianco from Holly Springs is headed to Paris this summer. He made the Team USA dive team. He won the men's 3-meter springboard competition at the Olympic trials on Sunday. Capobianco won a silver medal in synchronized springboard at the Tokyo Games 3 years ago. And former NC State swimmer Ryan Held is heading back to the Olympics. The 28-year-old officially became a member of the team Saturday night in the 4x100-meter freestyle relay. He captured a gold medal in the 4x100 free relay at the 2016 Rio Games with Michael Phelps on his squad. Due to roster limitation during the 2021 Olympics, Held didn't make the team. That motivated him to keep training, and he's on his way back. The U.S. Olympic teams are bringing their own air conditioners to Paris for the Summer Games. However, organizers say the rooms in the athletes' village have cooling floors. They'll also have their own fans. U.S. officials say they want to keep athletes comfortable and help them remain consistent. Germany, Australia, Italy, Canada, and Britain may also bring their own AC. Chicago's most iconic tourist attraction is finally reopening. Cloudgate, also known as the Bean, had been closed off for nearly a year so workers could renovate the surrounding plaza. The new renovations include new stairs, accessible ramps, and a waterproofing system. The Bean reopened on Sunday. Well, meet Wild Thing. He now owns the title of World's Ugliest Dog. The competition took place over the weekend at a fair in California. This was the 4th time that the 8-year-old Pekingese has competed in the contest. He'd come in second each of the other 3 times. Now he has that title all to himself. You can see more of Wild Thing and hear from his owner when they make an appearance on the Today Show this morning. Today has been on the air since 7 on WRAL. That just shows you set realistic goals, you can achieve them. A home in California is up for sale for a steal of a deal, but there's a catch, and it has the neighbors talking. This 3-bedroom home right here in San Francisco's Russian Hill is on the market for an amazing price, just $488,000. However, the new homeowner has to wait 30 years to move in. That's because the seller granted the current renter a 30-year right of possession, meaning they can legally live there until 2053. Real estate experts and neighbors are puzzled about the sale, saying it's a sloppy way of real estate planning.
And I wanted to get this quick look at the Dali cargo ship leaving the port of Baltimore. This is the first time it's been out of that port since March 26th when it hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge. So it's been there for 90 days. It's headed off to Norfolk, Virginia for repairs. But this is a live look right now, the cargo ship leaving that port for the first time since the incident.
The summer competition is heating up on TV this week. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with What's on Fox.
Get your A game on and play along with hit Fox game shows. Here's what's hot on Fox.
Listen and name that tune.
Bring on the Bit-A Note. Monday starts with Name That Tune, hosted by Jane Krakowski with band leader Randy Jackson. 2 contestants go head-to-head with $100,000 up for grabs.
Whoop it up with Vicky.
Then Patton Oswalt hosts the 1% Club, where they whoop it up with special guests, including the Real Housewives of Orange County star Vicki Gunvalson.
Bring out the $1 Million Mamas.
Tuesday, teams of mothers and their kids guess hit songs in hopes of winning big money on Beat Shazam, hosted by Jamie Foxx alongside his daughter Corinne Foxx as co-host and DJ.
She's the trivia guru.
Uh-oh, Ryan.
That's followed by families squaring off in categories of movies, fashion, and musical knowledge for $100,000 on the Quiz with Balls hosted by Jay Farrow. They'll make a splash with their skills or in that giant pool.
Your first mystery box challenge.
Wednesday, the MasterChef Generations Top 20 face their first mystery box challenge. The home chefs create a dish highlighting their favorite nostalgic comfort foods.
Chocolate.
Then it's a sweet challenge on Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars as Gordon Ramsay and Lisa Vanderpump task their teams with creating a new chocolate product. Name, label, and jingle. Thursday starts with Copa Tonight, followed by Fox News Presents Democracy 24, and then the presidential debate.
Listen to this place.
Friday brings WWE Friday Night SmackDown to lead into the weekend.
Check